Today we're visiting with Paul Detweiler. Now I met him a couple weeks ago. We were doing a Dutch oven seminar up in Maysville for an old buddy of mine. That was a fun little deal.
It was.
And you came up and talked to him, and we got talking about all kinds of stuff. And you said, have you ever had anybody on your show that does divining? Now there's different names of this. People call it witching for water, divining, dowsing up. What are some other names they might call it?
That's the three primarily ones. However, I'd like to distinguish a little bit. Water witching is basically just finding water. Divining, you're asking questions. It's more like a Ouija board type thing, and that I don't do. Right. The dowsing is letting the wires do what they want to do freely, then interpreting what those wires are telling you.
So if you look this up, over the years, there's all kinds of people that want to discount it and so on and so forth. But if you really go back and look in this 15th, 16th century, the depictions of these people, what is more important to man today or yesterday than finding a source of water that it's the very source of life?
Exactly.
You can live without food for a couple weeks. Without water, you're going to perish.
That's right.
So they had these guys out way back when. They had their little uniforms on. They had, it looked like a mining uniform a lot of times, and they would go out and they were a trusted source to find water. I think there's something to this. I know the body's electric. There's a lot of things we don't understand. Yep. What are your thoughts? How does this work?
I know there's something to it because I've been doing it since 1974.
Yeah.
Before a lot of people have even been born. But I'm wanting to let people know more about this because it's a dying art. People are skeptic because it's not electronic.
Right.
But even back in Egypt, in the old days of the kings, they have on the walls where there's been people with the stick, the Y stick,
right,
which they were hunting for water back then. You can't tell as much with the Y stick. The L rods, what we call them, you can tell more. It can give you more signals. My father-in-law taught me because at that point in time I was a journeyman plumber and needed to learn how to find the sewer pipe that's underground.
So it's not just water that you look for?
No, all kinds of things. We can find septic tanks, and I can tell you which side, how wide the pipe is. It'll pick up the width of the pipe, even though it's plastic.
So the wires that you use, what are they made out of?
When I first started, it was just coat hangers.
Right.
The old wire coat hangers. Now I go to the big box store and go into the insulation area, and these are supports for insulation between floor joists. It's just metal, steel, and bend it at the end about 4 inches to hold in your hand.
What would you say to the people out there who would say, oh, that's bunk, nothing to it? What would you say?
Watch me. It happens. And I'll hand them off to other people who go, I don't know about this. Let's go try it.
I want to see this in action. I saw a little bit last time, but
Sure.
I want to see you do this. All right, Paul, show us the tools of your trade. It's a huge setup cost-wise to get started in this.
There's some online that are fancier. Maybe they're made of copper or whatever. There's people that say copper's the route to go. I've found everything with these that I need to find.
Your whole thought process, follow that through.
Well, first of all, you need to have the wires very loose in your hands so that they're free to roam where they want. You bring them up so that they're parallel to the ground and straight ahead, and then you just let the wires do their thing, and right there we've got something. It crossed.
So what does crossed mean? And water is out, right?
Yes. Crossing is when you're finding something that's like a wire or pipe, and you know the difference between a wire and pipe just because or a foundation, the width can be different. And of course when you, like back there when I had what I call a hit, it crosses, and then it comes out and it crosses again, and you go back and hold it in the middle, and when they go out like that, you know you've got water.
You know what, this is very eye-opening, and I'm glad you came out and talked
Sure.
to us. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
The phone number is probably the best, 812-987-4119, and whatsbelow.com if they want to go on the web.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.